Welcome to my B&B Today's Show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribes button and give this video thumbs up. As Liam reveals the diagnosis of a terminal brain tumor, Bill is devastated. The bold and beautiful reveal: Liam Spencer will finally confront Father Bill with devastating news about his terminal brain tumor diagnosis, in an emotional May showdown that changes everything. Spencer Men's final showdown. Liam's terminal diagnosis forces emotional reckoning with Bill. The ultimate father-son confrontation is about to shake the bold and the beautiful to its core. Insiders describe Liam Spencer's reveal of his devastating brain tumor diagnosis to Father Bill Spencer as the most heartbreaking moment of the season. After weeks of tension and hostility, the investigation that changed everything: Liam's world came crashing down in April, when what seemed like a simple fall turned into a life-altering diagnosis. Liam collapsed and was rushed to the hospital after a heated argument with Bill about his father's controversial decision to help Luna Nozawa avoid prison. What shocking fact! The prognosis for Liam's brain tumor, which cannot be treated, is grim. Liam has made the difficult decision to concentrate on spending quality time with loved ones instead, despite the fact that Steffi Forrester and medical professionals have been urging him to pursue experimental treatments. However, one individual, Bill Spencer, is still completely unaware of the gravity of the situation. The confrontation, years in the making. The soap's long-awaited emotional showdown is expected in the episode on May 9th. Following their explosive fight where Bill actually ordered his son out of his life, neither father nor son has made any attempt at reconciliation. That changes now. Sources reveal that Liam will finally face his father with the truth about his condition, leading to what can only be described as raw, unfiltered emotion from the typically stoic Bill Spencer. Expect to see Don Diamant deliver a performance unlike anything we've witnessed before. A father forced to confront the possibility of losing his son forever. Spencer's complicated legacy. To be honest, the men Spencer have never had a straightforward relationship. From Bill's affair with Steffi to his ruthless business dealings that repeatedly put Liam's principles to the test, father and son have weathered numerous betrayals and reconciliations. Most recently, Bill's decision to use his influence to help Luna avoid prison time for her crimes was the final straw for Liam, who resigned from Spencer Publications in disgust. The confrontation that followed was brutal, with harsh words exchanged that neither man could take back. Little did Bill know that his son was suffering from symptoms that would soon be diagnosed as terminal. Steffi and Hope united through tragedy. Steffi Forrester and Hope Logan, formerly bitter rivals, have found themselves on the same side for perhaps the first time ever, in a stunning development that demonstrates how serious this storyline has become. Steffi has been struggling with the weight of Liam's diagnosis, as she was the first to learn of it. In heart-wrenching scenes earlier this week, she finally shared the devastating news with Hope, leading to an unexpected moment of solidarity between the women who have spent years fighting over Liam. Both women now face the unimaginable, preparing to support the father of their children through his final days, while helping their young daughters understand what's happening to their daddy. What happens next? The confrontation between Bill and Liam is poised to be a pivotal moment that reshapes the Spencer family forever. Will Bill accept Liam's decision to forego experimental treatment, or will he use his considerable resources to search for a miracle cure? Can these two stubborn men find peace after years of conflict, knowing their time together may be limited? One thing is certain: B&B writers aren't holding anything back with this storyline. Expect to see raw emotion, long-buried secrets, and perhaps even some surprising confessions as father and son face the ultimate test of their complicated relationship. The question on everyone's mind: will it take a terminal diagnosis for Bill Spencer to finally show his son the unconditional love and acceptance Liam has always craved? Or is this just setting up another dramatic, bold, and beautiful twist that nobody sees coming? Don't miss Friday's episode. This is one confrontation that will have everyone reaching for tissues. Brooke Logan's pitiful pursuit of Ridge leaves fans demanding she find new love. Fans of The Bold and the Beautiful have criticized Brooke Logan's incessant pursuit of Ridge as pitiful and embarrassing, and many of them have urged the writers to give the character a new storyline and a new love interest, rather than adhering to her destiny narrative. Fans blast Brooke's pitiful pursuit of Ridge, The Bold and the Beautiful's most divisive storyline. Viewers have had enough of Brooke Logan's endless chase after Ridge Forrester, calling her behavior embarrassing and disgusting while demanding fresh storylines. The decades-long saga between Brooke Logan and Rich Forrester has reached a breaking point with fans. In recent episodes, as Brooke pursues her destiny with Ridge, viewers are responding with unprecedented outrage via social media, describing her actions as anything from pitiful to disgusting, and requesting that the writers give the character a new direction. Wake up and move on. Fans reject Brooke's desperate pursuit. The May 5th episode showcased Brooke once again pleading with Ridge about their destiny together, a narrative that has played out countless times since 1987. However, fans are actively switching channels during these scenes, rather than supporting the couple. It's becoming disgusting the way she paws all over Ridge. Wake up and move on with your life. You've wasted far too much time on that fart in the wind, Ridge, wrote one viewer in a comment that received over 100 upvotes. Another longtime fan didn't mince words. I'm tired of hearing he's my destiny. Girl, you're in your 50s. Early 60s. When does your destiny start? The reaction isn't just mild annoyance. Viewers described feeling physically uncomfortable watching these interactions, with many admitting they mute or skip scenes featuring Brooke's latest attempt to win back Ridge. Fans demand new love interest and fresh storylines. After 37 years of the same love triangle dynamics between Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor Hayes, viewers are desperate for new storytelling directions. According to research, Brooke's pitiful and repetitive pursuit of Ridge frustrates fans. It seems likely fans want Brooke to move on, with many suggesting new love interests. On social media, several viewers have even suggested specific actors who could be brought in as a love interest, including Gregory Harrison, to create fresh dynamics instead of recycling the same relationship conflicts. One fan wrote in a post that received a lot of votes, "A new love for her can't arrive soon enough," expressing the widespread desire for Brooke to find happiness outside of the Ridge circle. Is the writing unfair to the character of Brooke? Many viewers criticize the show's writing rather than Catherine Kelly Lang's performance, because they believe it devalues a once powerful character. The evidence tends to criticize the writing as being outdated and misogynistic. I love Brooke in all of her messiness, but this is downright pathetic and impossible to stomach. It's pure misogyny, wrote one top commenter, receiving dozens of upvotes. Others pointed to a troubling slowdown in Brooke's character growth. Brooke didn't back down when Ridge had to choose between her and Taylor just a few years ago. Now she's bending over backwards for a man that doesn't truly deserve her, noted another fan. The age factor. Time for mature storylines? The age of the characters has become another focal point of criticism. In light of the fact that Catherine Kelly Lang is approaching the age of 64 in real life, viewers wonder if these desperate romantic pursuits are appropriate for mature characters. Several fans suggested that Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor deserve storylines that reflect their age and experience, focusing on family, legacy, and personal fulfillment, rather than the same romantic musical chairs they've played for decades. These three are giving senior citizens a bad rep, commented one viewer, suggesting the repetitive nature of the storylines doesn't match where these characters should be in their life journeys. What is Brooke's next move? The question of whether writers will respond to viewers' requests for new storylines persists as fan anger reaches its boiling point. The opposition to Brooke's pursuit of Ridge reflects a desire for the show to move beyond its decades-old formulas, and is more than just criticism of a single storyline. Will Brooke finally move on from Ridge and reclaim her former strength? Will she find a new love interest who truly values her? Or will the show continue down the same well-worn path? One thing is clear: fans are increasingly turning away during these scenes, sending a powerful message about the future direction of one of daytime television's most iconic characters. After nearly 4 decades, viewers believe it's finally time for Brooke Logan to find a destiny that doesn't revolve around Ridge Forrester. Carter's ludicrous request for Ridge's assistance with Hope the Bold, and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Carter Walton is delusional for asking Ridge Forrester to help Hope Logan. Since Steffi Forrester has issues with Ridge, he raised Brooke as if she were his own for years before resorting to snarky remarks like bitch and choice words. Why would Carter think Ridge would raise a hand to help? Ridge Forrester lied to Carter Walton. When Ridge allowed Steffi to end Hope for the future and fire Hope, he had already lied to Carter. Steffi was followed by Ridge and Eric, who both stabbed Carter in the back. Ridge, even though he is co-CEO, told Carter it was Steffi's choice, not his or his father's. Yet Carter betrayed Eric Forrester and Ridge by taking over the company. What is wrong here? Hope was badly treated by Ridge even though she wasn't accused of betraying Steffi or coming after Finn. Hope also did not come up with the idea of taking over this LLC either. She simply backed up her man. Similar to what Steffi did when Finn said that Hope passed him by. Now suddenly even Finn acts like nothing ever happened. Ridge Forrester doesn't want Hope Logan there. Ridge has made it clear that he doesn't want Hope there. Ridge made it abundantly clear to Carter and Brooke Logan. Ridge has thrown Hope out the window. Obviously, Ridge sees nothing that Steffi has done wrong, including sleeping with Hope's husband several times. Let's face it, Ridge has been upset with Hope ever since she decided to have a relationship with her father. Ridge can give Carter any excuse he wants, but he isn't willing to do anything to help Hope because he is upset with her and has been for years. Ridge doesn't want Hope with Carter either. It's possible that Ridge doesn't like it when Carter thinks about himself rather than the Forresters when he's with Hope. Is Carter Walter certain that Ridge Forrester would be of assistance to him? Ridge doesn't care that Carter isn't happy without Hope there. Ridge has his company back. Hope isn't whispering to Carter about how much better he could be doing for himself now that Ridge has his best friend back. Hope believes that Carter is undervalued at Forrester, and she has more than proven her point. Ridge doesn't give Hope any credit for anything that has changed at Forrester, even though she was right by Carter's side. Carter's motivation to start the LLC came from Hope. Is Ridge concerned that Carter might reconsider his treatment at Forrester as a result of Hope? Is Ridge still irritated that the child he helped raise now has her own mind? Because Ridge isn't even trying. Liam Spencer Scott Clifton might be the only one who can make a deal between Steffi and Hope. Will Steffi ask Hope to come back to Forrester? Will Hope for the future be revived after all? The long-standing tensions between Liam Spencer and Bill Spencer finally erupt into a heartbreaking reckoning as Liam reveals his terminal brain tumor diagnosis to his estranged father, setting up one of the most emotionally charged arcs in the Bold and the Beautiful's recent history. Fans have been following the complicated father-son relationship between the ruthless media mogul and his morally driven son for years with a mixture of admiration, frustration, and hope that one day they will reconnect. Because Liam is dying and they are about to lose their last chance at healing and reconciliation, that hope is now on a timer. Liam takes the stage in the episode titled May 9th, which is appropriately titled, A Seismic Moment in the History of the Spencer Family, to confront not only the father who has alternately shaped and shattered him, but also the legacy of bitterness, pride, and regret that has haunted them both. This is no mere soap confrontation. It's a confessional, a farewell, a reckoning, and a cry for understanding that cuts through decades of emotional distance and corporate coldness. Liam, who once stood as the idealistic counterpoint to Bill's hard-edged persona, has carried the weight of his father's expectations and betrayals for far too long, and now, facing his own mortality, he is no longer willing to hide behind forced civility or deny himself the closure he so desperately needs. What appeared to be the latest blow in an endless war of words turned out to be something far more tragic when Liam collapsed following their most recent heated argument, which was fueled by Bill's decision to assist Luna Nozawa in escaping accountability in a growing scandal. After the fall, which was initially thought to be caused by emotional or stress overload, a rushed visit to the hospital, a slew of tests, and the grim diagnosis of an aggressive, unrelenting, and terminal inoperable brain tumor followed. Steffi was devastated by the news, and Liam was eventually forced to reevaluate everything regarding his remaining time, after it caused ripples of despair throughout the Forrester family. While doctors proposed aggressive and experimental treatments, the prognosis was clear. His time is limited, and no surgery or therapy would change that. In typical Liam fashion, he focused on the people he loves, including Hope, Kelly, Steffi, Wyatt, and even Bill. However, the poisonous animosity that had grown between them over the course of months kept Bill in the dark, pushing him further away. That is, until now. Not out of obligation but out of a deep, aching need to unburden his heart and give his father a chance to meet him in the one place they've always avoided. The truth, Liam makes the painful decision to see his father one last time as the clock ticks and his strength begins to clearly deteriorate. The confrontation unfolds in Bill Spencer Publications' office, that cold, gleaming tower of steel and glass that has so often served as the battleground for their most brutal clashes. Bill initially responds with defensiveness, sarcasm, and stonewalling, dismissing Liam's presence as yet another ploy to manipulate. However, when Liam whispers to him, "Dad, I'm dying," the atmosphere changes. Everything stops. Cracks in Bill's bravado, determination, and meticulously kept mask. Fans will never forget Don Diamant's raw, soul-sucking performance in which he channels every ounce of his grief, disbelief, and buried paternal love. His first words are denial. "No, you aren't. That's not funny, Liam." But Liam isn't smiling. His hands shake. His voice trembles. He explains everything: the diagnosis, the prognosis, the seizures, the fatigue, the unrelenting headaches. Like a scalpel, each syllable slices through decades of emotional distance. He tells Bill he didn't want him to find out from Steffi or Brooke. He didn't want sympathy or a fictitious apology. He wanted to look his father in the eye and give him the chance to be the man Liam always wished he could count on. A torrent of emotions follows. Bill breaks down. Not with tears alone, but with shattering silence. The kind of silence that shouts more clearly than any words could ever say. "Why didn't you come to me sooner?" Bill finally whispers, voice broken. And Liam, tears in his eyes, says, "Because you told me to get out of your life. And I believed you meant it." That line alone marks a turning point. Not just in the scene, but in the entire trajectory of their relationship. Bill, who has bulldozed, manipulated, and dominated his way through fatherhood using power instead of intimacy, suddenly finds himself powerless. He can't get out of this by buying time. He can't stop it with threats. He cannot escape death. All he can do is watch, helpless, as the son he barely understood begins to fade before his eyes. The legacy of the Spencer men, long defined by ambition, betrayal, and stubborn pride, is laid bare on that office floor. Bill apologizes, not just for recent missteps, but for a lifetime of pushing Liam away, for prioritizing authority over parenting, for never knowing how to love without control. Liam doesn't absolve him. This isn't a fairy tale reconciliation. He tells Bill he doesn't know if he forgives him, and he's not sure he ever will. But he doesn't want to die angry. He wants peace. For himself and for Kelly. He doesn't want his daughter growing up hating the man her grandfather used to be. And in a breathtaking moment of vulnerability, he asks Bill to help raise her. "You're the last Spencer man left," Liam says. "Don't let her grow up thinking we were all broken." Bill, through tears, promises to do right by Kelly, to protect her, to love her, and to teach her that her father was brave, that he chose love over resentment in the end. It's a line in the sand for Bill, a moral reckoning that strips him of all his facades. For perhaps the first time, he embraces his role as a father, not in words, but in a broken, crushing hug that says everything they've never said out loud. The camera lingers on their embrace, holding steady as Bill sobs into his son's shoulder and Liam clutches his father like the boy he used to be, desperate for connection, for healing, for time. But time is the one thing they don't have. When the scene ends, nothing has changed, and yet everything has. Bill is no longer the untouchable mogul. Liam is no longer just the idealist. They are two flawed men facing the end, not as adversaries but as family. And as the episode fades out, fans are left with a haunting silence, a weight that stays long after the credits roll. The implications are staggering. Bill's transformation doesn't end with that scene. In the coming episodes, viewers will see a man who is unmoored, grappling with the knowledge that his power is meaningless in the face of mortality. He throws himself into being a better father and grandfather, not out of guilt alone, but from a newfound purpose. He begins to reevaluate his priorities, his empire, his legacy. There are moments where he lashes out, moments where the grief consumes him, and moments of unexpected tenderness that remind fans that even the coldest hearts can bleed. For Liam, the path ahead is equally complex. He continues to decline, but with a quiet grace. He reconnects with hope, Steffi, Wyatt, and even Brooke in ways that suggest closure is possible, if not perfect. The story doesn't shy away from the brutal reality of terminal illness, nor does it rush to tidy emotional arcs. Instead, T lets them breathe, lets the characters fumble, rage, mourn, and most importantly, love. The story's heart is in this. Not only death itself but also the decisions we make in the face of it. This storyline is a rare deep dive into raw human emotion, into what it means to lose, to grieve, and to attempt to hold on when everything is slipping away. for The Bold and the Beautiful, which has long been known for its glitz, glamour, and scandal. Additionally, it serves as a display of everything Don Diamont and Scott Clifton have constructed over the years. Their chemistry, their history, their undeniable ability to convey layers of pain beneath every glare and embrace, culminates in scenes that will define their careers. Bill's true love for his children, Liam's willingness to forgive him, and whether the Spencer men are doomed to repeat each other's mistakes have long been topics of discussion among fans. There are no neat answers to those questions in this arc. It allows for emotion, interpretation, and the imperfect beauty of trying. And one thing becomes abundantly clear as the heartbreaking conclusion of Liam's story progresses. This wasn't just a story about a diagnosis. It was about legacy, about the scars we carry and the ones we leave behind. Concerning the possibility of redemption in the face of a loss that cannot be undone. About how light can shine through even the most fractured relationships. And about how, sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is say goodbye with our hearts open. What do you think Bill will do next to honor Liam's final wishes? The Bold and the Beautiful. A season of heartbreak, betrayal, and fan outrage. The Bold and the Beautiful is delivering some of its most emotionally charged storylines yet, with shocking revelations, bitter rivalries, and long-standing tensions reaching their breaking point. Brooke Logan's increasingly desperate pursuit of Ridge, Liam Spencer's devastating terminal diagnosis, and Carter Walton's erroneous belief in Ridge's goodwill toward Hope Logan are all at the center of it all. Fans are reacting strongly to each of these arcs, ranging from tears of sympathy to outright dissatisfaction with the show's direction. Liam's terminal diagnosis forces a heart-wrenching reckoning for Bill. The diagnosis of Liam Spencer's terminal brain tumor, which is expected to result in an explosive and tearful confrontation with his estranged father, Bill Spencer, is without a doubt the most heartbreaking storyline of the season. Bill will be forced to face the consequences of his actions in what may be their final moments together, after weeks of hostility between the two culminated in Bill cruelly cutting Liam out of his life. The May 9th episode promises to be one of the most gut-wrenching in recent memory, as Liam finally reveals the truth about his condition to Bill. Fans can anticipate a raw, vulnerable, and completely shattered performance from Don Diamont, best known for his portrayal of the ruthless and frequently cold-hearted Bill. The question remains, will this tragedy finally break through Bill's hardened exterior and force him to acknowledge the pain he's caused his son? Or will his stubborn pride prevent him from making amends before it's too late?